Hey everyone, welcome back to 305 Insights. This is part two of our discussions from the previous week after the Super Bowl talk. We were only able to record one more subject and talk about certain draft intrigue, and perhaps in the future we'll record some more different scenarios that may be happening in the draft. So, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is that can increase your engagements with us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Enjoy this one, folks, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. And we're back, folks. So we're not going to have three subjects to talk about already because we're dying over here. But we really just want to at least dive into major storylines in the NFL draft coming up. And as it gets closer, we'll dissect it even more. But I think what I really want to get into is the whole concept of Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams. I mean, me personally, in my mind, I would do one of two things. Both of them involve keeping Justin Fields.
Oh.
One, you do the Keyshawn Johnson, you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. number one overall. Or if you get one of these guys who are like higher up in the draft order, and then maybe you can fall back and get Marvin Harrison Jr. and get a haul for the number one overall pick, even if it's like, let's say, New England. Because I don't think Washington's going to move up. Because Washington's going to be like, I'm going to get whoever's left over. Whether it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
That team's not going to get better whoever they draft anyway. So,
What, the Bears?
No, the Commanders. And the Bears, too.
I think the Commanders have some, they have something there, man.
No.
I really do.
Doesn't matter who they're going to draft.
So I think the reason why they don't think they have it is unfortunately Eric Bieniemy's fault, which is crazy because I know we were praising him at the beginning of the season for how they were looking, but that offensive line is horrible, and he thought it was a good idea to throw the ball 50 times a game with Sam Howell. So
well, that's what he's used to. That's his like scheme.
No, I get that.
You know,
I'm just saying why
would you,
Washington's like, because to me, why wouldn't you keep going with Sam Howell? Because the whole salary cap thing, like you got to invest in the offensive line. There's a lot more holes than okay, we're gonna get Drake May. Okay, well, you literally just reset your clock 1 year because Sam Howell was a rookie. No, 2 years basically.
But would you? But isn't the
both UNC quarterbacks, by the way?
Yes. Isn't
McBride?
The Bears at the same issue though with their O line?
But they have Justin Fields.
No, I know. Like they have because they look DJ Moore, great weapon. They get another weapon like Marvin Harris Jr. You have both of those. They got a good tight end. This guy, Cole, I believe his name.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Good tight end, catching, and I think good blocker. But
and didn't they also get what's his name? Were they the ones who traded for Sweat? Were they the ones who
Josh Sweat?
Yes.
No, not Josh. No, Montez,
Montez,
the one from
Sweat?
the one from,
yeah.
And they signed to a long-term deal.
Yes. Yeah.
And he led both teams in sacks.
Yes.
So you already got your cornerstone defensive end.
Like they have the pieces. I just think that, of course, you got to get a weapon.
So then it's the question then if they decide to stick with Fields or if they go with the quarterback as their pick, right?
Yeah, because my thing is, Justin Fields has had, 3 new offensive coordinators? Like, you're not... And the play calling last year was just absolutely, like,
Would you say it's like an Alex Smith situation when he was with the Niners? That, like, Alex Smith had the ability to be successful, but due to the inconsistency in, like, in the front office or in the coaching, there was that issue.
So I see what you're trying to say. So the comparisons in the sense of the situation, yes. And, Alex Smith could run a little too, but I just think there's so much talent that can be unlocked with Justin Fields that whoever gets him, I really think it'll be one of those things where you already have Justin Fields out there for a few years. He kind of understands how the game flows. Like Caleb Williams, you're starting from square one. Like you're just starting all over again. And you had the same team that you have, And what are you going to get? You think you're really going to get a first-round pick for Justin Fields?
I mean, honestly,
For sure, you're going to get at least a
you
second.
for
But-
sure you can get a second. It all depends on what you're gonna
Could be
get
a
for
late
Justin.
first rounder.
But my thing is, I believe you can get more value from trading the number one pick and building around Justin Fields than trading Justin Fields and getting Caleb Williams.
Didn't that happen last year where you were saying that they had number one pick and they traded down to get two more picks within the same round, or one in the first and one like right there in the second?
Well, no, they had because they made the trade with
I don't know what team it was.
no, it's
it
with
happened.
the Panthers. That's why they have the number one pick.
Yeah.
So the Panthers traded up,
Yeah.
and now the Bears have the number 1 pick and the number 9 pick, I believe. So it's just like you could really, if you trade this number 1 pick, you could really like set yourself up for, because basically what you're, I'm sorry, real quick. Basically what you're saying is you're going to get Caleb Williams and maybe Malik Neighbors. You're going to get one of those or the kid from Washington as the wide receiver. So that's what you're going with, as opposed to getting Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison, and someone else. So it's like, do you want Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors?
Well, if you give up Justin Fields, you're just sending a message to everybody: hey, we're not going to win this year. We're going to try.
Yeah.
We, hopefully we get a CJ Stroud situation. That's like best case scenario. But if you trade away Justin, DJ Moore, the weapon, all the things that we just talked about, all of them just got. Hey, by the way, we're not going to win this year. We're going to try, but we're building for next year or the year after.
Sending mixed signals.
Now, if you keep Justin Fields, you're sending more of a message to him, like, hey, we're gonna try to win. Like, that window is like this year and next year, because what the thing is that also you look at, if you go Caleb, it's cheaper longer.
I know, but what I'm saying is, for me, it's the value proposition. Minnesota's in that division, right? It's Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, and who else?
Wait, sorry. Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, and
Detroit.
Lions. Yeah.
So, are you basically just holding out? Because I think if they build around Justin Fields, you're going to be better than Minnesota. Because Minnesota has to figure out their QB situation.
Uh-huh.
And then, are the Lions going to be the same team? Because Dan Campbell said it himself. It's going to be different next year when everybody's going after you. So, is Jared Goff going to be able to keep it up?
Like a true coach?
Yeah.
No, but okay, but then now you can have this scenario as well that you go Caleb Williams, right? You know you're going to have a cheap quarterback for 3 years, right?
Well, 4 years because the option year. So it'd be 4 years.
Let's just say 4 years, right? That means you can splurge a little bit more in the market. Maybe get a T. Higgins, that Mike Evans, just to have somebody to help Caleb Williams in that transition period. Hopefully you get a little bit more success, clear a little bit more cap space, end up getting more weapons around Caleb Williams, and then your window of success is a little bit longer than if you go Justin Fields. Because I think Justin Fields is going into his fourth year?
I think it's his third year.
Third year now.
Right?
If he,
I'm on it, Dan.
If he balls out this year, right? And let's say they give him Marlon Harris, they load up all the weapons from him, he balls out. You think that guy's not going to ask for an extension, or hey, let's talk about my contract?
I mean, so for me,
you gave me all the weapons. Now look what I can do. I have leverage now.
This is going to be his 4th year.
Oh, there you go.
So, but again, this is what I'm talking about with the value proposition, because you're saying go out and get T. Higgins. T. Higgins is going to cost you at least $20 million a year.
No way.
Yes, I mean he is.
Screw that. I'm not paying that guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to go out and get a T. Higgins, that's cost you $20 million. What I'm saying is the value proposition in getting additional picks in the first round by trading the first overall pick. You're going to trade down, and you still have, I believe it's the 9th pick. You're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. hypothetically. Let's just say that. But you're going to get a really good wide receiver. The wide receiving, the top 5 guys, like Keon Coleman is probably number 4 or 5, and that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
And he's going to go in the latter half of the first round. So you're looking at the kid from Washington, which I keep on saying the kid from Washington, but I wish I remember his name.
Michael Penix Jr. is better than Caleb Williams.
Anyways. So you're going to get one of those wide receivers. And
Hot take.
it's one of those things where, like you said, you get Caleb Williams, but then you're gonna have to spend $20 million on T Higgins. What I'm saying is trade the first overall pick, get Malik Neighbors or get Keon Coleman, or even try and get Marvin Harrison, and you have DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison, and another first round pick to get an offensive lineman, to get a linebacker, to get a.
And they have a lot.
But then that right there, then you know that you're paying Justin Fields.
Yes.
That's what you have to ask yourself, like, as an organization, like, because you've said it, I think, in every single podcast, that all these most of the successful NFL teams have a cheap quarterback, and they build around it. You now it's like kind of like you're gonna go away from that narrative if you don't go with Caleb.
Well, so what I always say is the window to maximize your value is when the quarterbacks are cheap. In the sense of everybody was trying to copy and mimic the Justin Fields, the Russell Wilson thing, where he was on that third round pick or whatever.
Yeah.
Like now,
and the Dak Prescott as well.
You saw Dak, you saw Joe Burrow,
yeah.
You saw Lamar,
yep.
You saw even Patrick Mahomes. But now Patrick Mahomes is still winning. The Bills are still. We'll see next year.
They're winning.
Well, we'll see. No, because next year is when he has the $48 million cap hit.
Yeah, that's when it comes. Yeah,
and the same thing with Lamar. Lamar is like, okay, now the cap hit's going to start working against you. Mahomes is the one that's showing you, okay, you can still win.
Yeah.
With the cap hit, you still need an elite quarterback. But in terms of getting that, in terms of, like, I guess the Bengals, where it's just like you kind of like break through and you're like, hey, we're here. That's where you need to get like that first 4 years. I'm here. That's where you need to get the first 4 years.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's where this conversation comes into your ESPN and all these people are talking about it, because me personally, I would want Justin Fields, but what worries me is that it's Justin Fields the long-term answer. And let's just say, like I said, he balls out this year. What do you pay him?
You pay him the market rate. Because all I'm saying is you kind of know where Justin Fields is, in the sense that, like, he still has potential. He's shown you he can pass the ball. He's shown you can run the ball as well. It's just they don't have the systems in place for him, in the sense of, here's a new offense coordinator, here's a new offense coordinator.
They're not helping.
What you're basically saying is, okay, Caleb Williams is going to save us. Caleb Williams is most effective when the play breaks down. At least on tape at USC, that's what it was. When the play broke down, he could scramble a little.
So it's just a cheaper version of Justin Fields.
And that's it. So you're basically saying that, we're just going to reboot with Caleb Williams and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, because you didn't really lose the way the quarterback plays.
But you're hoping that, and this is going to bash
skill set.
To me, like, what has a Lincoln Riley quarterback shown you in the NFL? You've got Baker Mayfield, who's been up and down.
But
Jalen Hurts, who's been what? I mean, he's got
gone to the Super Bowl.
Yes, but what kind of talent has he had around him and stuff like that? That is a well-built team.
So then what?
When the game is on the line, are they really leaning on Jalen Hurts to pass the ball effectively?
I mean, did he lose that Super Bowl?
No, I know what you're saying, but when you look at that team, are you saying, okay, Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball for 300, 400 yards for them to win?
No, but he also runs the ball really well. I mean,
okay, let me put it this way. Would Jalen Hurts be as successful as he is if he was on the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yes.
You think he would be an MVP level person on the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I disagree, because when you have someone like
ETN in the back that you can hand the ball off to, strong running game, and then you have weapons. You have Evan Ingram as your tight end. You have Christian Kirk. You have what's his name? The gambling guy,
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin.
Okay,
Ridley.
So now you're saying all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're comparing that to DeAndre Swift, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and who's your third one?
Garter. Dallas Garter. Right?
Yeah, he's the tight end, right? But don't they have another wide receiver though? It's not just DeVonta Smith. But anyways, It's just the talent that's right in that offensive line. And then you have who else is
The
he
Jags
coached?
are loaded, so I
Kyler.
don't know. The Jags are freaking loaded.
I know, but it also helps when you have Trevor Lawrence tossing the ball around because look what happened when Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
Look what happened when Trevor Lawrence got injured. When he was healthy, he was slinging that pigskin all over the place. But anyways, and then you got Kyler Murray. How successful has Kyler Murray been?
Got paid.
I know, but I'm just showing you the Lincoln Riley quarterbacks.
He had a good. Honestly, Kyle Murray had a really good back end of this past season. A lot of people didn't know about it.
No, but I'm saying like when you're looking at
what I'm trying to tell you is that most of they're pretty successful.
These are with the system that Lincoln Riley has. It's not one of these like go through your reads and different things like that. With the way they spread the ball and all that stuff, and now you're going to put Caleb Williams in Chicago, which remind me what kind of like spread offense have they ever run in their life?
Yeah.
What kind of QB who's had over 30,000 passing yards in their career for that franchise? Like that's just not the franchise where I think you gamble on Caleb Williams.
But it also depends on what type of. That's on the GM and how you want to build for the future because you guys kind of just said it now. Just Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, almost a little bit of the same playing style. You would say play breaks off, and then that's when, extending a play. That's when they're like a little bit the most dangerous. You would say, right?
Yes,
that's one of their best qualities.
And that's what I'm saying. How is that going to change with Caleb Williams at QB? You're literally just trading it in for
but
instead of paying this guy $15 million, we're paying him $5 million.
You have 4 more years to have a cheap quarterback and build to protect him, build for his weapons, build on the defense. Like it just creates more space for you to have moving pieces. Me personally, I think Justin Fields is great. It all would depend on the OC and what their scheme is going to be moving forward. Because if they're going to go, hey, you know what, we're going to go all in on the offensive side of the ball, and we're going to start putting in the foundations to have successful, high octane offense going into the future. Hey, we're going to be an offensive minded team, not defense. Then by all means, you keep Justin Fields. But if you go into, let's say, we're going to look at the defense side, then you go Caleb. You get me? Because then we're gonna spend money on the defense, and then we're gonna build and protect Caleb.
To me, I think the right choice would be to keep Justin Fields. But personally, I would love to see him away from Chicago.
Yeah, me too. I would like for him to.
I want to see what potential he has outside.
I think he can be one of the top.
I think so too.
I think he would be insane in the Dolphins.
Ridiculous.
I think because it would
add that RPO.
It would add a completely new wrinkle to this offense. And if Tyreek does retire in a year or two, or however many years he has left in his contract, and he said he's going to be done, like the value that you can maximize out of Justin Fields over the next 2 years.
That Tua still hasn't gotten signed, by the way.
They're still going to sign. That's the sad part, though. They're going to
shop him during the draft. They're going to shop him.
There's a what's it called?
Because there are teams that do need quarterbacks, so I think they're going to get
traded to the Rams and be a backup to Matthew Stafford.
They don't have enough salary cap for that, though.
I don't know what I saw, but there was something.
Who said that?
There was like a scenario that they had him getting traded. Oh, was it the Vikings? Maybe
the Vikings. I mean, I could see the Vikings do it. Like, listen,
man.
Tua is basically all the shit we talk. Oh damn, I gotta bleep that one out. All the crap we talk about Tua, and we always, I always bring up how you guys love Kirk Cousins. This is perfect opportunity. You've got Justin Jefferson. You've got is it Jake Addison?
Yeah, but that. Oh yeah, no. I mean, the offensive style that they run. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins is not a mobile quarterback.
No.
What? See now
he will struggle with that rollout though, because that's what they love doing with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Is that fake handoff and he rolls out and now I'm picturing the two. It's not going to work when he rolls out.
I'm telling you. See, now we're gonna go into that.
Man, the wrinkle with Justin Fields, man. Oh.
It gets me salivating.
Yeah. Man.
Because I really think Justin Fields
because opposing defenses has to worry about like
He's dual
two
threat
different
quarterback.
things.
He's got an arm.
3 different things.
He's got an arm. He's
the running
physical.
back, the QB, and the wide receivers.
Like the amount of, because we always talk about like, spacing, speed and spacing. Like the amount of damage that Justin Fields could do with. Forget the tight. We don't even need a tight end. We just literally have Waddle and.
You think about Purdy, right?
Purdy.
And
Pretty good.
Pretty good. There's a lot of similarities of the Kyle Shanahan to the Mike McDaniels offense. When you watch the film of Purdy and Tua, what stands out the most is that Purdy extends plays in the way that he moves in the pocket. He played lights out in the Super Bowl of extending. Like, dude, he was getting blitzed and he was still extending plays. There's plays that you watch Tua and you're like, dude, he's not gonna extend that play. He's gonna throw it to the ground because he's being trained to not extend.
Listen. One step at a time. He learned how to fall this past offseason.
But
so now he can do that little like was that?
But that's
that Tom Brady, like all you have to do is like move the shoulder and it affects everything.
But that's a scenario that Justin Fields will thrive in. I feel because of Mike McDaniels and his coaching style and the way that he can connect with the player and understand, because the way he connected with Tua. If you're bringing in a offensive minded coach like that to Justin Fields in Chicago, completely different. It's a completely different scenario there. It's just, where does Chicago want to go? Are we gonna build around Justin Fields and set the foundation with his weapons and be an offensive heavy powered offense and defense will come secondary? Or are we gonna go with Caleb, have a high defense, kind of like what the Texans did, good defense, young offense, and we're gonna rely on our defense to get those stops, and then CJ Stroud was just CJ Stroud.
I don't want to be like a hot take Harry over here.
Oh.
But would you like? And again, Chicago probably wouldn't even take this. But would you franchise Tua and trade your first round pick to a first round pick franchise for Justin Fields? I'm not saying obviously.
For both parties.
Obviously, you would do that. You would do that on the Dolphins side.
Franchise tag.
You franchise tag him, so you basically give him a 1-year contract.
Got it.
And what that allows is for Caleb Williams to kind of grow into the role. Because unfortunately,
so he's I get what you're saying.
You're literally having Tua as a stopgap, as a gap year, and you're I'm sorry, Miguel's got the Panthers got the game-winning goal just now. So
nice.
Florida Panthers, the real Panthers. But it's one of those things where I really think it sucks because
it's like you're handing the reins to him. Like Tua's just there,
because they don't do that in the NFL anymore. Because again, everybody tries to exploit those first 4 years. We need to throw you in the fire and see what happens. Give Caleb Williams a year to really, how they always say the speed of the NFL and all that stuff.
It's like
and if Tua goes down, okay, now you're in, kid.
So it's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick to Tua situation there?
Almost, but I mean, I know Chicago wouldn't do it because like the weather and like Tua's arm and all those questions and stuff like that. Like you'd have to find it's just, I really do think getting Justin Fields to Miami, and that's not even being a homer thing.
But like also too,
and
you think about it,
play in cold weather too.
Exactly. Like he can go to Buffalo
right now.
He can go to Buffalo, New England, and be perfectly fine. Fields,
because he played all the games in Chicago.
Like he's used to that dog water weather. So it's like
I don't think he would.
The Jets. Oh my God, he handled New York, and New England.
Where would Justin Fields go right now? And because like if you go first in our division, the Patriots, it's like maybe.
They're getting Jaden Daniels.
The Patriots are going to get Drake May, Jaden Daniels, one of those guys.
Drake May is like 6'6".
I just don't think that he's going to go into a team that's not very offensive minded, like because you got Gerard Mayo, that defensive minded, So, and then the
Raiders.
Dolphins would be amazing.
Raiders. Unless they like that kid a lot and they're just going to stick with him.
The kid's not that bad though.
Oh, the
I
O'Connell
know,
guy?
but he's cheap as hell.
He's
So,
cheap as hell. That's what I'm saying. He's cheap as hell.
But I mean, Justin Fields with
Devontae Adams,
Josh
Jacobs.
And who's the offensive coordinator? It's not Kingsbury because he turned it down. Where did Kingsbury go? He went to Washington.
Cliff.
Yeah, he went to Washington.
No, remember he didn't get the.
No, he went to the Raiders, but then he's like,
Oh, yeah, he went to Washington.
I think it's Washington. Washington's not trading up to get Caleb. They're literally going to take whoever's
available,
or if they get a phone call. Okay, we could drop down. We can get Jane Daniels or something like that. But I mean, I'm trying to think of other places like.
Okay, let's look. AFC, you got Jets, Aaron Rodgers, New England. That would be a landing spot, but I don't think it would be successful. Dolphins, plug and play.
Well, remember, they've got Gerard Mayo. Like it's a brand new thing.
Yeah, but then it's like a brand. Okay, I mean, then it's like Chicago. I mean, I'm thinking in Justin Fields' aspect, like.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, what's the difference between like New England and Chicago?
All right, so no Buffalo, no Jets, no New England, no Dolphins Baltimore.
Would be great.
Well, yeah, it was no Baltimore.
No.
Cleveland, no, they're all tied up. Pittsburgh
would be. Ooh.
Cincinnati, no. Houston, no. Jacksonville, no. Indy, no. Tennessee, please, no. Well, actually, no, they don't have Vrabel anymore, but
that's a little weird though.
KC, no. The Raiders,
maybe.
Denver, I think Denver's going to go even younger. Like they're going to get.
They have to, bro.
No, but in the sense of like they're younger, like they need 4 or 5 years out of a cheap quarterback. Yeah. So they're gonna go.
They're fucked because of that. Oh, excuse me. They're screwed with that Russell Wilson.
Chargers, no. Dallas, no. Philly, no. New York, no. Washington, no. Detroit, no. Green Bay, no. Minnesota. You know what? Maybe Chicago. Wait a minute. Tampa Bay, no. New Orleans, they're that team is perpetually in salary cap hell. I think
Sean Payton said, "I'm out."
I think even with the $8 million, someone was joking like, "Oh, now my Saints are only $87 million over the cap." It was something ridiculous. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know for sure they're at least like $40 million over. Like they're just perpetually over. Atlanta. I told you earlier when we were talking about the podcast before we started. I said he should go to Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Atlanta's a good one.
You know, Kyle Pitts. Maybe he can actually become a decent tight end. Oh my god.
In a dome. And that division is terrible.
Carolina.
That division's so weak.
He should go to Carolina.
That would be hilarious.
San Francisco. You know what? No. Rams. No. Seattle. No, they just tied up for another year.
Geno Smith.
Arizona. No. So basically, you've got what? Atlanta. Realistically.
Atlanta.
Maybe Tampa, but I don't think so.
Minnesota.
But Atlanta, Minnesota, Miami, Pitt. You got 4 teams that really.
Damn.
Very interesting. Anything can happen during the draft.
Pitt's not going to be able to offer anything.
They don't have a first-round pick?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to. So Pitt's out.
You don't think Pitt would do it, though?
I mean,
they need a quarterback.
I'm sorry, I still can't deal with a quarterback that wears gloves.
I mean,
it's weird. The only person I ever trusted was Kurt Warner.
Teddy Bridgewater retired. What are you talking
Teddy 2 gloves?
Oh God,
Coach of Northwestern now, by the way.
Northwestern. He went back to his alma mater.
Good for him.
Yeah,
he needed that.
At 31 years old.
I mean,
the same after that concussion.
Concussion or when he blew up his leg with a non-contact, and they said he almost had to amputate it.
Jesus.
Wasn't something great? Like that was crazy. Like
yes,
it's like he fell down and like his leg literally exploded.
Yeah,
basically.
It was just everything erupted.
But so realistically, Minnesota, Atlanta are probably the top tier ones, and then that's S tier, and then right below that is Pittsburgh, and I don't think Miami's going to do it. Like as much as we fantasize,
Miami would just.
I know we fantasize about it, but I don't think it's happening. But
all right,
Oh, we really focused a lot on Justin Fields.
That was a good. I mean, I think that was a good one.
It was a good one. So it's so good. We'll do it. No, we're not. We really focused a lot on Donovan McNabb and Justin Fields. I mean, and then Patrick Mahomes.
I got a little Alex Smith in there too.
That's true. Yeah, I'm talking about bum legs. Yeah. So that being said, we'll wrap it up, and then next week we'll have more content of what grinds our gears, what's on the top of our minds.
It's always good to wrap it up.
Yeah, and folks, don't forget, do a courtesy wave if someone does something good to you on the roads out there. Okay. Give them a nice little
gesture, little hand, just a little hand raise. That's all.
Anything. Anyways, folks, wrapping up here. Have a good one.